It's the BBC Green Sport Awards this evening at Broadcasting House in central London, and we are live from the green carpet, where we will be speaking to organisations and individuals who are leading the way in the fight against climate change. This year we have 3 awards: Athlete of the Year, Global Champion and Pioneer in the area of sustainability in sport. 2025 has been the hottest year on record, and it's made an impact on sport and how we at the BBC have reported on it.
Zurich is largely powered by a clean tram network, and football fans have been able to take advantage of that on match days because your match day ticket gets you free travel to the game.
When I first became aware of the fact that sewage was being washed into the river, I found it horrifying.
What's really important is we're now starting the process of cleaning up the River Thames, which is really important for our city.
It's who's going to deal with these conditions the best. And yeah, these are desperate situations.
Here is a look in the men's long jump. Have you ever seen anything like that?
This year's London Marathon is taking a big stride towards sustainability, with baggage-free start zone to recycling zones along the route that keep waste out of landfill.
They're going to be tough conditions that players aren't really expecting or used to here at Wimbledon in previous years, but this is climate change for you.
What can we do to make sure that global warming doesn't have an effect on the Winter Olympics going forward?
It will have an effect. We know that some regions in the world will disappear for winter sports, at least on snow. We need to develop alternatives, but make sure that we don't push a model where we know that in a few years from now, it will not be possible at all.
400 Olympians have signed a letter calling on the next IOC president to make climate change their top priority.
It's how can you put on the most sustainable games and use the platform for broader global climate action.
There are 3 nominees for Athlete of the Year. First up is Fran Kirby, Brighton and England footballer who teamed up with Worldwide Fund for Nature to create a prescription for nature, which encourages people to take a daily dose of the outdoors to benefit their mental well-being. Hannah Mills, a 2-time Olympic sailing gold medalist, has been a leading voice on sustainability issues throughout her career. She set up the Big Plastic Pledge to eliminate single-use plastics from sport, as well as helping to remove 6,000 pieces of litter from the sea during the run-up to the Tokyo Olympics. Hector Pardo is an Olympic open water swimmer who has seen the first-hand effects of water pollution, which he says has caused him and his teammates to become unwell on numerous occasions. He became the first person in history to swim Britain's 3 largest lakes back-to-back in under 24 hours, raising money for Surfers Against Sewage. Last year's Athlete of Award winner was Imogen Grant. She donated what she wore when she won Olympic rowing gold to the London College of Fashion, who made something truly special. Let's remind you of how it was done.
1.5 to 2 months ago, you handed over a big bag of kit. Did you have any expectations?
Honestly, I had no idea. I mean, I've raced and trained and rowed in all of the kit on this table. It's Lycra, so it's really stretchy. It's made to be sweated in and washed and fit when you're moving around. The amount of work that's gone into deconstructing the kit to preserve as much of that fabric as possible is absolutely immense. And I really hope it sends a message. Kit is really expensive, and so much of it gets wasted. As soon as a sponsor changes, a whole new set of kit comes in. But there's so much here that the fabric's still fine, and I'm really hoping that this project shows that there's another life that this kit can have.
And today's the day where you get to see it for the first time. So should we go and have a look?
Yes, please.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, I can see it. Oh, wow. These parts are from Paris. So I won the Olympics wearing some of this kit here. It has GBR on the back, just to remind you, which I think's awesome. Oh, wow.
That's very cool, isn't it?
This is part of the Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony.
So we just tried to blend all your memories in one piece.
What was the hardest part?
Taking all the garments apart.
For one piece of kit, how long did it take for you to unpick all of the stitches?
Probably, I would say, around 1 week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try it on. I think it's going to look amazing.
So Imogen is here with us now, and Imogen, that dress, truly amazing. Have you been able to wear it since?
A couple of times, but it's something really special to have in my possession. I had an amazing photo shoot I did actually for a collection promoting sustainable athletes, and I had my dress on, gold medal, and my boat on the landing stage, and that was quite an image.
And obviously that dress was to show the impact, I guess, of fast fashion within sports. How big of an issue is this?
It's a massive problem. We've all collectively decided that polyester is the best thing to make sports kit out of because it's lightweight, easy drying. It's got lots of really good properties, and that's why we use it. But it's plastic, and all of the kit that we've ever made for sport is basically still on the planet. There are certain initiatives that are getting there, in terms of recycling kit, pre-loved kit, that sort of thing. But that's just a tiny fraction of what's being produced. And when we think about when a sponsor changes or a kit design changes, all of that kit that's been made immediately goes to waste.
And obviously you spoke about this issue when you won the award last year. Have you found any changes happen in that industry?
I think we're slowly seeing changes. Within rowing, we no longer display the year on our kit at the World Championships, which means it can be worn for multiple years. Instead, we have a patch which displays the year, so that's a lot more flexible. And our rowing charity, Love Rowing, has been able to collect and donate old kit from the athletes at the training centre. But I think it also comes down to the individual. If you have kit, see if you can donate it to a sports club rather than throwing it away.
And you've obviously spoken also a lot about water pollution, kind of seeing just the first-hand effects of that. What's been the impact when you've been travelling around the world, seeing all the rubbish in the oceans? Is it getting any better?
Slowly but surely, I would hope so. I think there's a long way to go in terms of the water quality. We're certainly getting a lot more information, especially in the UK. Water quality testing and E. coli testing is becoming a lot more common, and so we actually have the shape of the problem that we're dealing with. But we still need to push our government to hold our water companies to account, and we still need to do our own little bits, creating our own pockets of nature and rewilding our rivers as well.
Have you got any plans going forward in terms of environmental aims that you want to go on and achieve?
Yeah, one of my personal aims is twofold, really. I'm a vegan athlete. I don't talk about it that much, but I want to be one of those people that shows that it's possible, because I think a lot of people think you need to eat meat to perform at a high level, and that's just not true. And one of the biggest personal changes that you can make is reducing your consumption of meat and dairy. And secondly, I've been working with some of our rowing regattas in the UK to put in place sustainability policies with them. And the first sets of those are coming out now, which is really exciting. Every rower that's coming to a rowing event that has one of these is going to go away knowing a little bit more about what they can do.
Thank you very much, Imogen. That's great. Thank you. There are 4 nominees for the Global Athlete of the Year. First up, we have Hector Bellerin, Real Betis player who is an ambassador for several campaigns for sustainability. And last year he released his own clothing brand, which works with dead stock materials to reduce waste. He previously set up an initiative to plant 3,000 trees in the Amazon for every win his team achieved during his time at Arsenal. Cross-country skier Jessie Diggins and her American teammates wore special edition ski suits at the World Championships that depicted a melting ice cap as a way of speaking up about global warming. She uses her platform to raise awareness about climate change and the effects global warming has on snow sports. 4-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel continues to grow his legacy off the racetrack. A B Sanctuary at Japan's Suzuka circuit flourishes after he launched it 2 years ago, and he's now got a bee meadow in his native Germany. In the past 12 months, he's focused his attention on what's happening within the Amazon rainforest, visiting an indigenous tribe, trying to navigate the devastating effects of deforestation. And Danish footballer Sofia Younger Pedersen is well known for environmental activism, organising offsetting for players at the World Cup in Australia 3 years ago, and continues to call upon European football governing body UEFA to mandate clubs to take trains instead of planes where possible. So talking about football, and someone who's nominated in the Pioneers category is Arsenal. We have Hannah here from Arsenal, who's here to talk to us a bit about what you guys have done over the past few years to achieve kind of that sustainability status. So if you could talk through us a bit more about what Arsenal has done in order to be more environmental friendly.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, I mean, it started quite a few seasons ago, so this isn't something that we've just started recently. Being sustainable and doing the right thing for the environment is a really key part of our club strategy, and it's something that we've done over a significant period of time. We were the first club to sign the UN Sport for Climate Action Framework several seasons ago, which committed us to reduce our emissions and also to take our responsibility as a global brand to kind of influence climate action really seriously. So in parallel with looking at emission reduction and kind of more recently becoming the first football club in the world to have a net zero target validated by the fairly well-known science-based target initiative, we've also done a lot of programming across the club to actually try and reduce our footprint. So from quite big projects like changing over 8,000 light bulbs in Emirates Stadium to be LED, to looking at rainwater capture at the training ground where we can capture and recycle rainwater, to sort of support.
And how have fans responded to all these changes you've made?
Really positive. So, we know from research that we've done that actually this is something that supporters care about. They're looking at what we do, what we stand for in the community. Community has been a really kind of core part of Arsenal as a football club right from the very beginning, when it was sort of founded by a group of munitions workers in a factory. And that commitment and responsibility to community has sort of stayed through the club, throughout the years. So actually our supporters, I think, almost expect that Arsenal takes that responsibility seriously, and being sustainable and thinking about our role in reducing our climate footprint or environmental footprint is actually just a natural extension of that. And we've seen the response when we run programmes like the Green Gooners Cup, and we get very active engagement from supporters. We then extended that to all the sports franchises across the KSE group, and again Arsenal supporters were among the most engaged of all the different sports franchises. So yeah, very, very engaged, I think, is the quick answer.
And obviously football as a whole does have a lot of kind of negative impacts on the environment. So how important is it for Arsenal to kind of help change that image?
I think we have to accept that it's a journey that we're all on. There's a huge amount of work that's going on across football. I think we all have a role to play to take a leadership position. For Arsenal, that really aligns with the values that we have as a club. We've got a history of being innovative, of driving progress within the sport. One of our core values is to always move forward, to take actions that matter. So, this is very natural extension for us of the work that we do. As I said already, it's a key part of our strategy. And I think it's really important that, football, which is so beloved by people all around the world, demonstrates leadership on a topic that is just so important for communities everywhere.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let's now run through all of our pioneers. First up, we have Formula E, who have been net zero since day one of its first season in 2014. The Gen 3 race car is fully recyclable, being built out of carbon fibre and natural rubber. At select races, they've introduced the Pit Boost, an electric vehicle recharging technology that delivers a 10% energy increase via a 30-second 600 kilowatt charge in the pit lane. Advancements made for the track that could benefit everyday electric vehicles around the world for widespread consumer use. Jog On distributes used yet usable running shoes to schools, charities and organisations in the UK, Africa and South America. In July, they reached a milestone of 40 million tonnes of shoes they've kept out of landfill. Now they are looking to extend the scheme to walking boots and shoes. Sport England is pushing its partners, including national sport governing bodies, to have robust sustainability plans in place by March 2027 as a condition of funding. This summer, they've gone even further, allocating £16 million from its movement fund exclusively to support green sport initiatives. And one of the nominees for Pioneer, we have the London Marathon, who tries to offset the impact of 50,000 runners and more than 1 million supporters crowding into London for the race. At this year's run, they piloted a scheme to collect 1,000 litres of urine from runners and spectators to use as a fertiliser instead of entering the sewage system. And now we have Tony Piedad from Jog On, who is here to talk to us a bit more about his organisation. So Tony, could you tell us a bit more about Jog On and how that came about?
Sure. So I read an article by The Guardian that said that something in the range of about 300 million pairs of shoes go into landfill every year. And I figured actually a big proportion of those are probably running shoes. That didn't sit very well with me, and I figured I might try and do something about it. I already had a community of runners with a different sort of platform that I launched in 2009 called joggingbuddy.com. And so I thought I'd try and do something about it.
And you started this business from your garage, didn't you? And now you've hit a milestone of, is it 40 million tonnes of shoes in that you've kept from going into landfill?
Yeah, it's been absolutely phenomenal. The journey has been incredible. Yes, I started in my garage. I read the article on a Wednesday, built the website over the weekend, told my wife on Monday morning we were going to start collecting shoes in our garage. And actually that's a really important thing just to kind of dwell on for a minute. I am just a guy in West Sussex with a garage. The success of this campaign really is down to the strength of our partners around the UK. We've got about 500 collection points with retailers, universities, leisure centres, and those are the guys that are really doing all the hard work. Today now, almost on a weekly basis, we get between 4 and 6 pallets of shoes arriving at the warehouse. So it's been absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, that's great. And obviously, running nowadays, there's more and more people signing up for marathons, for running events. Have you noticed that more people are donating trainers?
Absolutely. We're partners with the London Marathon. We're partners at the running show. We get to talk to kind of end users, if you like, on a regular basis. And they tell us that, you know, because they're doing so much running, they're doing so much mileage, they do need to change them more frequently. And that's okay. The fact is, even though a pair of shoes is no longer useful for running in, doesn't mean they're not useful as a pair of running shoes. And that's the kind of bit we're trying to do, is kind of make sure that those that do need shoes at least have the option to have some.
And are there any aims for the organisation going forward in terms of what you guys want to achieve?
Yeah, more of the same, really. We want more partners. We know that there's loads of other big organisations out there that can support us, and I'm thinking predominantly of people like football clubs. You know, how do we engage with them to kind of collect even more and do even more bigger things? And also, obviously, talking to the brands. How can we work in partnership with the brands to make sure that we can, you know, take their old stock, you know, make sure that we distribute them to the places that need them the most.
Thank you very much, Tony. So now everyone will be heading into the theatre to hear the awards winners. So please keep up to date on the BBC website to see who the winners are.